Ed Sheeran had a cameo on the show.
It was weird.
It was really weird.
Which we knew was going to...
Trash bin. That'll be our deal. Every time you buy me a shirt, I take out the trash.
Now, the CHP in pursuit of this vehicle. It's northbound on the 5 freeway, passing Valencia Boulevard now, in the Santa Clarita area. We don't know much beyond that about the driver or the person who is behind the wheel in this vehicle right now, except that it is a Volkswagen Jetta. We came on the air. It's got a 14-gallon gas tank. It can hit up to 40 miles per gallon on the highway, which means this has a theoretical range, if it had a full tank when the pursuit began, of somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 miles, if my math is right. And so this could go a long way. It's continuing northbound on the freeway. You see the traffic is very sparse right now, and clear sailing ahead for this driver. The limits are only his or her initiative and the gas that's in the vehicle, and depending on what the CHP may decide to do, although the speeds at this point, although not high, not dangerously high, they're still too high to do a pit maneuver at this speed. Now, of course, going 75 miles an hour according to our Sky Map 7 technology. You're seeing it's being illuminated by a CHP or other law enforcement helicopter, and the pursuing CHP units are there behind it. We don't know the condition of the other driver or the condition of the other vehicle that was involved in that collision at the 5 and the Glendale freeway, I guess about 20 minutes or so ago. But we know that there was a collision there, and that this driver, rather than stopping and doing what you're supposed to do, which is exchange information and perhaps wait for medical aid to be rendered or wait for the police to show up so you can give a report, this driver elected to flee the scene. And luckily, thanks to descriptions provided by people who saw what happened, they were able to convey that, we presume via 911, calling out information about the vehicle make and model and the license number and the like. And the CHP was able to make contact and initiate this pursuit. So what we have at this point is a hit and run and evading at this point. Those are the two charges that we know of that this driver should be facing in this particular incident. Although what made him take off, we don't know. Perhaps there's something else at play here. Maybe this person has been involved in something else. That'll be something for the officers to determine once they have got this suspect in custody. But it is a silver Volkswagen Jetta, northbound on the 5 freeway, now in the Newhall area, passing Newhall Ranch Road. And the speed there you've seen at various times, not hitting the triple digits. It's been in the between 50s and 70s so far. Right now, 56 miles an hour. That is under the posted speed limit. Again, limited perhaps by some damage that the vehicle may have undergone in the collision, or perhaps the driver's limitations. We don't know if this is a DUI. We have no real idea about what's motivating this individual to continue with this pursuit. Very light traffic ahead, according to descriptions provided by the CHP in terms of what vehicles lie ahead and what potential dangers there are. And so this really could go quite a long way. The initial accident happened at 10:24 p.m. northbound 5, just before the 2 freeway connector. There was a crash involving this Volkswagen Jetta and another vehicle, and now we're finding out a semi-truck may have been involved as well. The CHP responded, and apparently one vehicle, we don't know if it was a suspect vehicle or one of the other ones, that tried to make a U-turn on the freeway. I suspect it may have been this one, because that would certainly kind of comport with the behavior that we're seeing now, where he's fleeing from police and behaving in this kind of erratic fashion. Speeds have not been outrageously high. He has not been making crazy maneuvers anywhere here and there.
Speed there you've seen at various times, not hitting the triple digits. It's been in the between 50s and 70s so far. Right now, 56 miles an hour. That is under the posted speed limit. Again, limited perhaps by some damage that the vehicle may have undergone in the collision, or perhaps the driver's limitations. We don't know if this is a DUI. We have no real idea about what's motivating this individual to continue with this pursuit. Very light traffic ahead, according to descriptions provided by the CHP in terms of what vehicles lie ahead and what potential dangers there are. And so this really could go quite a long way. The initial accident happened at 10:24 p.m. northbound 5, just before the 2 freeway connector. There was a crash involving this Volkswagen Jetta and another vehicle, and now we're finding out a semi-truck may have been involved as well. The CHP responded, and apparently one vehicle, we don't know if it was the suspect vehicle or one of the other ones, that tried to make a U-turn on the freeway. I suspect it may have been this one, because that would certainly kind of comport with the behavior that we're seeing now, where he's fleeing from police and behaving in this kind of erratic fashion. Speeds have not been outrageously high. He has not been making crazy maneuvers anywhere here and there. In fact, sometimes the speeds have been low compared to other pursuits, even below the posted speed limit, as you see, but he is going faster than some of these other vehicles right now. Good news, not much traffic ahead of him. That's good news in terms of the safety of all involved, but it also can hinder any sorts of effort to try to slow this thing down. And with this sort of mileage capability of the Volkswagen Jetta, up to 40 miles per gallon highway, that's the newer one, so this one may be somewhere in that neighborhood. If it had a full tank when this whole thing began, this could really go a long way. We don't know if there's another person in the vehicle. We know of only the driver. We don't know much more beyond that, that this was a hit and run, started on the 5 freeway at the 2. This person was involved in a traffic accident with another car and a semi-truck and may have tried to do a U-turn on the freeway. That certainly caught the attention of a lot of people. And when you do things like that, you will encourage people to take down information and convey it to the Highway Patrol, which is exactly what somebody did. And as a result, the CHP a few miles down the road was able to get in touch with this individual and find out that this is the vehicle that they're after, and the pursuit began. All right, we're getting some information about what happened at the scene of the accident. Information coming to us from the Highway Patrol. The person who reported it may have tried to take the keys away from the driver of the suspect vehicle, which indicates that that suspect did stop at some point after the accident, and that the suspect, it says here, may have bitten the reporting party, took the keys back, got in the car, took off. So now what you have is a traffic accident, an act of violence, what would be, I guess, an assault or a battery against someone. That would be the biting. And then after that, of course, is the hit and run. They left the scene. We're not sure who this driver is, but that's some pretty erratic behavior. And this will be an indicator, I guess, for police on how to deal with this person once they get a hold of them. Presuming they do, which they will, of course, at some point. The car is going to run out of gas. The driver's going to give up. Something's going to happen here. The CHP, of course, will not give up. They've got, for all intents and purposes, an unlimited number of vehicles that they can bring to bear on this, as well as a helicopter overhead. The speeds are not terribly high. One wonders if at 41, 42 miles an hour, you're getting into the territory where a pit maneuver would be viable and usable. And one wonders whether that might be something they're considering at this point. The driver's now only going 44, 43 miles an hour based on what we're seeing from our SkyMap 7 technology in Air 7 HD. And that is the kind of thing where they could use that pit maneuver, something we have seen over and over in Southern California pursuits, where a pursuing vehicle will come up behind the suspect vehicle, tap it on the rear bumper, and send it spinning, and sending it usually out of control, and as best could be described as a controlled sort of an accident. And what will happen in some instances, based on what our car expert Dave Coons has told us, is There will be some of these vehicles now have a fuel shutoff. If the motion sensors or the technology within the vehicle senses that it has lost control, it will actually shut off the fuel to the engine in an effort to try to keep the possibility of a fire from happening, so that technology ends up stopping the vehicle, spinning it out, and it will end up stopping. And let's see now, is that pit maneuver going to be employed? We're going 41 miles an hour, northbound 5 freeway at Castaic. There it goes. Pit maneuver has just been employed. And it is up the embankment, and now going back down onto the freeway. Now we got a problem where he or she facing southbound on the northbound 5. Officers now hemming that vehicle in. This is the northbound 5 freeway right near Parker Road, and you see the vehicle now facing southbound on the northbound 5. You got the officers now, they're going to surround it as best they can. They have to maintain a certain distance. They have to maintain it for officer safety. They don't know whether this person is armed, so they're going to do what they need to do at this point, although the body language that this officer is employing now, going from one vehicle to the other, indicates to them they don't think this person might be armed. I mean, he would certainly be in a crouch. I don't see, I see possible guns at the ready and of one of those officers there. It's hard for me to see. Yeah, he's got his gun drawn as he approaches the vehicle now. They're trying to get this person out. They're walking up to it. It appears they don't have a lot of fear of this individual. It's not the sort of body language that you employ if you're looking at a wanted felon, a murder suspect. They'd be doing a whole lot of different things. They're trying to bang through the windows right now. They are standing up next to the vehicle. They've got the person in the vehicle refusing at this point to come out. Again, this is the northbound 5 freeway at Castaic, where this pursuit has terminated. They're going to try to pull this person out of the vehicle, but they're not acting as though this is a particular...
What the heck?